Hello, I'm Matthew Malcolm with California Dairy Magazine, reporting to you from the CAPCO Spring Summit in Temecula, where there was a great lineup of industry speakers, including Roger Baldwin, wildlife specialist for the UC, who talked about managing rodents, particularly voles, in alfalfa fields.
There have been some studies that have shown vole population densities of several thousand per acre in some of those peak periods. So you can imagine the amount of damage they cause in those situations. And in fact, alfalfa again is the crop that they seem to cause the greatest damage in. Average losses for an average density has been estimated at around 11%. So, pretty substantial impacts that they can have.
So voles can be a substantial problem in alfalfa production. Some studies have shown an average loss in revenue of about 11% from vole populations in alfalfa fields. When they reach really high densities, the damage can be far greater than that. That's one of the really challenging aspects about voles, is their populations can build up quite rapidly, and so you're dealing with really damaging situations like that. To know if you have voles present in a particular area, what we usually do is look for their burrow systems. They're usually about 1 inch to 1.5 inches in diameter. They're open burrow systems that have runways running back and forth, basically trample down vegetation or bare soil between those openings, and so that's a good way to identify voles present in a particular area. As far as management tools, unfortunately there aren't a lot of management tools when it comes to dealing with voles in alfalfa, but we do have a few tools. One option is flood irrigation, where individuals still have the opportunity to use flood irrigation. That can be a good strategy to reduce vole populations in a particular area. Zinc phosphide applications are also used in alfalfa. It's the only rodenticide that you can use in an alfalfa field, but there are very specific set times on when you can use the zinc phosphide. Stubble height has to be below a certain level. Read the labels to figure out what that specific level is. It's also very susceptible to moisture, so you have to keep in mind irrigation patterns, soil moisture, rainfall, even dew and fog in the mornings can influence the efficacy, so try to stick with relatively dry periods. Zinc phosphide is only allowable for use twice per year in alfalfa production, so you have to time it just right to use it. The other option would be to utilize bait stations on the perimeter of alfalfa fields, and those bait stations you can use first generation anticoagulants such as difascinone and chlorofascinone, and so that allows you to try to target some of those voles that might be moving into fields. You can also use broadcast applications around the perimeter, but you cannot use those products within the alfalfa fields during production. So yeah, vole management can be a pretty challenging aspect. So with voles, you really have to stay on top of it and try to time your zinc phosphide applications as best you can and utilize flood irrigation if possible.
Thank you, Roger. Read more about protecting your feed crops by reading California Dairy Magazine. I'm Matthew Malcolm, CaliforniaAgNet.com.